We are going to make a beautiful lace string quilt today. We're getting this focus fabric, and then I'm choosing just the perfect yellows. The amazing white floral will be our sashing. So the first thing I do is take the focus fabric and I cut it into 10.5-inch strips because that's the size we need to make the right size of triangles. We lay those on top of each other and I get 10.5-inch squares by cutting the other way. I take a long ruler and I cut corner to corner to get the exact triangle that I need. These triangles are pretty exact. If you're a quilter who likes a little extra, you could cut them at 11 inches and have them be a teeny bit bigger. I made a pink quilt and I'm setting it differently than I'm going to set these yellow ones. I wanted you to see how versatile this block is. So with the pinks, I wasn't as picky, but with these yellows, you can see I'm very carefully checking each color to make sure it feels the way I want it to feel. It's tricky because yellow is a light color and yet I put a bunch of gold in because I want it to feel rich, but I want it to feel sweet. So I can't have too much dark because it needs to feel sweet, and it will feel sweet after I add the lace. This is a really good idea for color study. You just decide what you want and then be picky and see if it works out. I'm taking yardage. I'm not just using all my yellow scraps. I used the scraps I liked and then I took my yardage and cut strips to go with it because I want it to be very particularly beautiful. I have 10-inch foundation squares cut from 100% cotton yellow sheet, and I put the beautiful triangle on, and then I set a piece on top of it, right sides together. And this is the start of making the string quilt. This is a really fast, fun string quilt to make, and we are going to add lace, all kinds of lace. I think lace is an underused product when making quilts. So these are doilies that were purchased at stores. They're machine made and you can buy them off the internet or you can find them in stores. Some of them are old-fashioned. That one I just showed you with the triangle, I got it at a garage sale. The others are just beautiful lace that I've bought secondhand actually. And the netting one is part of a shirt I once wore. Let's start with this one. I used the other half in the pink quilt. I'm showing you, you can lay it like this and sew on top, and then when you turn it, I want all of the lace to be on the yellow side. What that does is it's going to have the layer and it's going to make a bulky seam like that. This is tricky, but you can do it. When you put lace right against it, it works better if you do it this way, upside down, so that you're actually sewing the triangle on top and you press the triangle off of it. And I'll show you that as we press, but that is the only time I put the triangle on top. I prefer to start with the triangle down at the base unless I'm sewing a piece of lace or a doily into it. Here I'm deciding, do I want to cut the sweet one in half or do I want to leave it whole? Or maybe I want to do it on a different one. I think I'll leave it whole on a different one and start with this one. If you're lucky enough to have handmade crocheted doilies from a grandmother or something like this one, you can use them too. I like their imperfectness. This one never does look straight, so I'm deciding where I want to cut it in half. I just cut it in half. People think that's a sin, maybe, but it's not. It's going to be showcased and beautiful, and it will be adored by the recipient of this quilt. So again, it's upside down. The triangle is just on top this time. For this quilt, I only need 12 blocks, and so I'm going to put lace on every single block. When you see the pink one, I made 24 blocks, and I did not put lace on every one. I've already figured out that I want the whole doily for this, and it's really quick and easy now to lay it out, leave part of it up. I'm just going to sew those two little edge pieces in, and it will be beautifully, perfectly wonderful. This one, it looks like I'm not putting lace in it, but I will in a minute. You'll see. I'm just planning as I go. I don't have a master plan. It doesn't matter. I just know I want a variety of lace looking different that I can spread throughout this quilt. And notice how big some of my strips are on purpose because they're really all about showcasing the lace. This one I decided to do that long one, cut it in half. It's just so pretty. Some of these are going to have layered lace, meaning more than one type or more than one piece of lace per block. So I'm showing you all of this because I think it's kind of fun to see the different ideas to do it. I cut that little doily in half and I'm going to put both halves on the same block, and later I'll add a third and you'll see how fun that looks. As I go, I'm just creating this piece. I don't know how big I want it, so I leave it whole. I'm going to just sew that on first, and then after, well, I'll show you. You stick around, I'll show you why I did it that way. This next one, this lace is thin, so it's not going to matter if I sew with the triangle facing up because it will fold really beautifully. Notice how crooked my sewing line is on that one? Don't worry, I'll fix it like I'm fixing this one in just just a moment because it's bugging my brain, so I'll go back and get it. Also, I like variety, so some of these I am not sewing a piece of lace on this first seam. I want it farther down on the block. It'll just look better that way. I stack all 12 of my blocks ready to go. As you sew straight, you check, you make sure they don't have to be exact. It doesn't have to be perfect because all the lace is going to be different and it will balance the quilt out. It's kind of forgiving and happy that close enough is going to be close enough. If yours isn't exactly centered, don't worry, mine won't be either. I have made sure that the doilies are inside enough that I will be able to trim this block down to 9.5 and have them not be too near the edge. After they're all sewn, I press them. I make sure, here's the one that I said, it will be able to turn and it will work just fine. So I'm very carefully pressing it, and be sure not to have your iron so hot that you melt your lace. Here's one of the big pieces of fabric that I just sewed the whole piece of fabric on, and I'm trimming it now with lots to spare. I'm thinking, what I really want you to notice about this is like making your very own puzzle up. You get to decide, do I like this? Well, I think I want it smaller. Okay, I'll have an extra strip later. No biggie. All of this is joy and fun, so don't let this frustrate you. Let it be an adventure. As I press this and get it ready, I think, uh-oh, there's a little extra space up there, but it'll be okay when I trim it off. No worries. I like to make sure and press the lace itself, make sure it is going to lay flat and lay the way I want it to, and then I flip it up so that it's out of the way and I don't accidentally sew on top of it where I don't want to sew on top of it. Every time I'm just showing you, I get every single block ready, I check them, I make sure I pile them up. Once I've decided what goes where and which strips I want and how I want them, then I take them back over and I sew them up and I'm ready to do it again. It's just the process. This lace is tricky. This is the one I wanted to measure and kind of center it-ish. I'm cutting it so that it has the amount of each color on each side. After I put the seam in, it'll be perfect. This kind of lace is sewn on top of the block. So I don't sew it in the block. I just keep it with the block once I've decided to use it so that I won't get confused. As you process, you don't want everything to be at the half square of the triangle. So this lace, I'm organizing how to put it lower, and it's going to have that problem where I have to turn it. It's just the nature of when you sew it lower. Even though I went through all that to teach you how not to have to turn it, sometimes you just have to, and it's okay because you can sew it down and make it work when you quilt it on or top stitch it on with your sewing machine. The 2 and then 1, I want something dark to enhance and make the lace look really, really good. This doily is so little I'm going to pin it onto the gray so I don't lose it. This lace, I want it to go a different direction. Sometimes it's fun to have the lace pointing a different way. And this triangle one, I'm just going to leave the film in so you can watch me play and play. I know I want to use it. I just want to use it where it feels good. So I keep trying it with different colors or different things. Or do I want to turn it? Do I want to twist it? How do I want it to work? And then I keep setting it aside. If you have a piece you really want to use, just keep at it. And eventually your brain will figure out how to fit it in. So you watch and you'll see how I finally fit that triangle in. Auditioning the different doilies can actually be fun. So don't let this frustrate you. Just keep playing and looking. I kind of like how that looked upside down, but I go back to the real homemade grandma doily, and it's not going to lay flat and straight, but I love the intricateness of it. So you just choose fabrics, you decide thick then thin and what you want it to look like underneath, and you press as you go and you just keep sewing. This is so fun. Enjoy yourself. Don't stress out about this. See, I'm trying 2 different laces in one place. Lace just makes everything sweet and soft and feminine and happy, and it really does dress up a quilt. If you've never added lace to a quilt, you're going to want to do this soon just for the fun of it. I love this double-sided lace so much, and if you've never applied it, you just sew it on. Don't stress. It won't matter. You're going to have it quilted. I'm going to quilt it with the long arm. It just needs to be nailed down. I sewed one side, I look, now I go back and sew the other side, or not. I can have the long armer do it or me do it because I'm the long armer. As you addition lace, think about spacing. I like that higher so that the seam is kind of centered in the middle. It just looked better to me. Put your lace where you want it. Don't let it dictate to you. You boss it around. This only has 2 fabrics because the doilies are the highlight. So I pin the doily where I'm going to actually want to sew it down before I get ready to trim them all. This one I finally figured out where to put this triangle. I'm going to cut off the corners, but I just think it's going to enhance it to go the opposite direction of most of the lace. I'm sewing it on, I'm cutting that part off, I press it, and then I just have one more little corner to sew on. And as you finish these, then we get ready to trim them. The base is a 10-inch foundation that I use sheets or 100% cotton of some sort. Now it's time to trim them. So I'm looking from corner to corner. So I take the half square and I try to line it up the best I can so it's actually on the seam of where I put that half square. And then I trim around with 9.5-inch square. So I'm trimming this down to 9.5 inches. Just like any other string block, as you trim these, it just gets better and better. You start thinking, oh, I'm amazing. And I don't know if you noticed, but nothing has to be square. The lace might be off, it might not be centered, but when you get it in the quilt, it's just going to sing and be this beautiful, happy lace. So do not stress out. Do not be a perfectionist. Just enjoy yourself. That doily, I've centered it the best I can, but it's not really centered, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be. As I look at these and put them together, I'm trying to decide, do I want them that way? Would I rather have triangles? How do I want to set these blocks? Because these blocks, you can set them in so many ways. You could do this with sashing and cornerstones, and I decided that's what I wanted with this one. The pink one I did into squares. Either way you do it, it turns out elegant and beautiful. When you quilt with lace, you stop and just nail down that lace and you put texture on it the way you want it to shine. Otherwise, in between, I've just done a beautiful freehand quilting pattern that just enhances it and makes it look beautiful. And every triangle is different. The lace is different. It's not necessarily even or square. It doesn't have to be. It just has this most feminine, beautiful feeling. For this pink one, I have all of the string parts touch each other. It just is a beautiful way to set it also. This one has more antique doilies. There's this pink one, and I used both halves of the pink on it. I just have more doilies in this one and bigger lace. And it really is just about the lace you have. So if you have some lace, get it out. Stay merry and creative.